What's up, DreamHack? We're back.
You're looking sprightly today. I just want to say you're looking fantastic.
Yeah, personally, Trace, I've gotten so good at doing my own makeup here at DreamHack that you can't tell that I'm tired. I hope, at least.
You're looking a little pasty, though. I'm not going to lie.
I wish I could touch you. Which way am I going? Does this work? No, that way. There we go.
I smell that, so we're probably not.
I like the way that sounds. I like the way that feels, even.
I don't think so.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Oh no!
I don't know what's going on, man. Here we are. Sorry, boys. Sorry, I'm back.
Why have we allowed this to happen? Who let you in?
On the things you hate to see, that's at the top of the list.
Lonus, you were saying what again? Or what?
I was saying, yeah, that Denmark has so much great talent outside of the people in this call.
I don't even know what's going on, man. Dealing with you is miserable, but I manage. I mean, let's be honest, there's not a single player that I'm not better than, so it is what it is.
Well, I mean, that I agree with. That I completely agree with.
Oh my God, Blair, why are you joining part of this madness as well?
Listen, I just got to go with it. Just got to go with Pimp. I mean, he's got the right idea. He got it right. I mean, yes.
You know, I think I have to disagree with Student here.
It appears, though, we have some disparity in the camp. I actually like it when the analysts disagree on the desk.
I'm just going to plead the fifth on that one.
Y'all are pathetic.
Unreal scene.
Yeah, Hugo, I think that's a good point.
Hey, let's bring your mic a little bit closer there, Harry, so I can catch everything that you are saying. Want to make sure you're not saying anything slippery like your friend Hugo there.
Well, the first things first, I really hate to say it, but I think Pimp had a good point.
Scrawn Dog, you got any different opinions on that one?
I think I agree with what a lot of Mohan just said there. I definitely
that means you
think
accidentally agreed with what Pimp said as well.
Yeah, but no. I don't agree with Pimp. I agree with you.
Gotcha.
All right. I want to make that very clear distinction.
Okay.
Can I take the word and give that compliment? That's probably the first time you guys out there have not made a fool out of yourselves. So congratulations, you are getting smarter and smarter.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to be sensible here. My God, I bless you, Pip. What's going on, Counter-Strike world? We have one final best of 3 to deliver for you today here at the DreamHack Masters Spring 2020, and we are getting none other than Heroic taking on Vitality. It's certainly going to be an interesting matchup, but to discuss all of this good Counter-Strike action, I've got Pimp, I've got Maniac, and we are ready to rock and roll. Lads, how are you guys feeling?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. What about you, Matthew?
I'm very confused. I used to be in the middle of these cases, and now I'm on the right, so that means I have to look at you guys like this. I cannot turn my head both sides, so I'm very confused.
I love it. You don't know which way to look, you don't know which way to turn, and that could be the story of our Counter-Strike match that is coming this way, right? Vitality and Heroic. It is going to be a very interesting one for us to break down because Vitality, they give us a lot of hit and miss performances with this. Heroic, they certainly have an upwards trend. They managed to get some decent results in there, but it's not always as clear cut or as clean. And they don't certainly have a good chance in this one if they cannot bring their A game, which is what we see a lot of teams in this online environment struggle with. I actually want to start with that with you guys, right? Because this online environment, I've heard for weeks now a lot of players, oh yeah, we can't play online, and all these excuses. I'm not really sold on this. Pimp, I know you always have harsh words on this stuff, man. What do you think about it all?
At this point, it's about sucking it up, right? This is the harsh reality we're living in. You play online and you have to perform online if you want to win these tournaments. Simple as it is. I can buy into the argument that there's obviously a difference playing LAN towards online, and especially in the beginning, you have to adjust. You can give the teams maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks in order to get accommodated. But at this point, everyone has been living under these conditions for 2 months now. This is it. This is Counter-Strike. This is the way it works. So I completely agree with you when you're saying from now on and onwards, it's just excuses. Let's see who can actually, bite the bullet. Let's see who can actually do the practice, who can stay motivated, even though it's a tough circumstances. And I think Heroic is a great example of that. And I think Vitality is a great example of a team that is progressing, that is getting better and better in this online environment. So no, I agree. There's no excuse for it anymore. We just have to see who performs the best under these circumstances.
Maniac, what about you? Any thoughts on that?
Can I say +1? No, listen, I agree. I think Jacob is making a great point. Listen, when we look back at this period, obviously the results, we're going to have to consider them with a little bit of a pinch of salt, but it doesn't mean that they're not valid. It doesn't mean that we should ignore them, and it certainly is not an excuse. Some teams take the challenge, take the bull by the horn and just actually go with it and stay motivated and put the work in and put the ethics, and some teams just put it on the internet conditions. History will remember the winners, right? So if you're not a winner, then tough luck.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, finding out who's going to be the winner of this match. Now, I want to start on looking at this Heroic lineup, because for me, right, Heroic's in this position at the moment where they're on the cusp of breaking in and being one of these big teams that can come in and perform. But again, how much can they deliver when they're going up against the real top teams? This is the test for this team. Now, the biggest change, and the one I'm most interested in, is what Hunden can add to this team, because it's been a long time we've been saying this man knows his Counter-Strike, he certainly knows how to play the game, but he's maybe not so good at fragging, so maybe in a coaching role, he can have that sweet spot that we know he could deliver.
And that's a very good point you bring up right here, Banks, right? Because one of the things that's been gone a little bit undiscovered, dare I say it, in terms of this Heroic lineup, is the fact that Cadian is now the designated in-game leader. He was even the in-game leader before the Kicksnappy, right? So Hunden coming into this lineup, not only does he have to implement his style and his version of Counter-Strike, he also has to do it with an in-game leader that is not that experienced in this role. So I think there's a lot of potential for groups for Heroic. I think, as you said, they've been looking good, and this is the big test for them against a well-playing Vitality right now. But Cadian being the in-game leader, how good is he? We saw him back in North. He was okay, but is he better than okay, or will he just forever be okay at what he does? That's the biggest test, and that's the biggest question mark to me when I look at Heroic.
Now, when I'm looking at Heroic in terms of individual players and star potential, this player, Stown, the young man, we've been talking about him since he was so young. We've seen many amazing moments from him, but can he go to this next level? Can he be the hard carry for the team when they're maybe not hitting those shots? That's the key question for me here, Maniac.
Well, I guess the other question is, would that be enough? Would that be enough against Vitality if he were to pop off like crazy, I compare these two lineups, I go pound for pound, and I say, okay, yeah, Stown definitely capable of delivering game-changing performances. He's done it again and again. But then I match up the 5 versus 5, and I'm thinking, is there enough depth? Is there a spread of talent on the side of Heroic, even on a good day, to go up against a full-fledged Vitality? To me, that's the issue. I don't see really a player in Heroic that could just take over that game and surpass everyone, because guess what? There's Zaiwu on the other side, and he seems to be back to his crazy form. The beginning of the year maybe wasn't supernatural. 1.2 something rating, which again is insane. But we've seen a blast last week. He was popping off everywhere.
Well, let's see what Heroic are thinking going into this matchup, because this is certainly a tough task for them.
It was nice facing off against the world's #1 in Astralis in the first game. It was the first big test for our new lineup in Heroic, and what a match it was. It was definitely the small errors that decided that game.
Hit a bit of a tag, low early, Magiska above the smoke. Not for long, Nico reads it, and Heroic moved very deep into the site. They've actually pressed the Astralis all the way to the back. The Prisioni guy still left in A.
Yeah, the day after the Astralis game, we played against the G2. G2 is famous for not defusing the bump, and we kind of wanted to cut them some slack and be like, yeah, hold my beer. So we wanted to entertain the viewers at home and give them some entertainment for their money.
Gotta make a stand, and Amanek trying to hold the cross. Can't do it, Kenny. The bomb's not planted for him. He's got to get in now, and they're on the bomb. Cadian locks it in, but there's no time for the defuse. Stout was on the get off. He had a kit.
Who was it? Nico jump on first with
Nico was the
no
guy
kit.
defusing, yeah.
Oh, dear.
So sad times, definitely, but we also still knew that we had the chance of beating North the day after and moving on in the groups, but it was a tough pill to swallow that day. The game against North was very convincing, and I think for us as a team, it was also just a must-win. We had really good preparation coming into the game, and we showed a glimpse of some of the potential that there is in this heroic lineup.
To his team, and now here comes the B play.
Yeah, AZ's gotten into a position though, and it looks like he's going to try and head up Pop quickly for this rotation. So he might be able to come in fast and offer some kind of resistance, but there's already players holding it down. Sticking the defuse now. Borrow has to come in with the
It's probably not a secret that the draw throughout this tournament hasn't been particularly favorable for us in terms of rankings, but we want that. We want to face off against the best teams. We want to have the chance of knocking them out of the tournament. We want to be breathing them in their neck, and this is a perfect chance to do so against Vitality. Hey Vitality, see you later on the server. I'm looking forward to face you guys. Make sure that God Hunten has been preparing very hard for you. He will know your next step before you do. And Saiwu, be good on us.
Well, it's all well and good for KDN to be saying that, right? But you have to deal with the opponent in front of you, and that's the key thing. It can be any one of these teams, and you've just got to be able to play your A game on this given day. Now, Pimp, I want to ask you this question. Where do you put Heroic in the Danish team? What would you give them position-wise?
Good question. I think they're getting better right now. I think they are the third best Danish team. North probably number 5 or number 4 at this point. I don't even know where they are down in the rankings. But I think there's no doubt that right now Astralis and Mad Lions are the 2 top dogs we have in Denmark, and that's just the way it is. You know, Heroic are supposed to be the second or the third best team. North is definitely supposed to be a team up there. But as of right now, we saw Mad Lions how well they're performing. We know Astralis with the normal roster. Let's put it that way. Definitely one of the best teams in the world. So. I mean, Heroic has a chance here of making, a progress in towards being the second best team. But for now, Heroic are down there with the Copenhagen Flames and North.
Now let's make Maniac very happy here by starting to talk about Vitality. We're going to move on to see...
I'm not that biased, am I? I just talk about Counter-Strike.
Are you sure, mate? Are you sure?
I stand by it.
Okay, you stand by it, and rightly so. But there's an issue I have with this Vitality team, and Shox, he alluded to it previously. He said, yeah, okay, we keep picking into Dust 2. I don't think that's a strong pick for any team. You should never be picking Dust 2 as your opening map pick. Like, it's too much risk in there, and they've been really dealt a hard hand every time they've picked it recently.
Listen, James, I'm having a good time. I'm not sure we should talk about Dust 2 because I'm going to get mad and I just want to have a good evening. Joke aside, Vitality still is a team that is trying to find its identity in a sense of, Apex came in as an IGL after they lost Alex, which I think was a big blow to the team. Obviously, Shox is trying to find his position as a co-in-game leader. I want to say this. I was listening to their com when I was in Blast, and let me tell you, he talks a lot. He hates a lot. Propositions, ideas, influence. So I think that the fact he doesn't like Dust 2 obviously has an impact in Vitality not really performing on Dust 2.
Yeah.
But just in general, I think they are on the way to figuring out what maps they're really strong on, what map they want to play. So it's a work in progress.
Now, we talk about Zyru, right? We talk about Shox as these two being up there. But it's Masuta that recently impressed me so much. This guy has really come out of his shell, because when he first joined the team, I started to question whether he could hang at this level.
I agree, and I think it's good to see him stepping up, and I think that's needed for Vitality to take that next step. I made the point a few weeks ago that I don't think Shox, despite him playing well recently, I don't think Shox consistently is going to be the same Shox we saw 2 or 3 years ago. So you need that extra guy that is able to step it up. You need a guy that can come in and be consistent performing at a high level. And I think Masuta potentially has that potential. We're starting to see more and more of it. And I do want to raise this point as well. Right now, everything is centered around Saiwu. I've been talking to Apex as well. Like, he's doing everything in his power in order to make it feel, to make it feel comfortable for Saiwu. So coming in and Masuta in a lineup like this, not getting gifted any space, not getting gifted any, credit for the skill that he has to do it the hard way. And the fact that he already now is picking it up, I think that is impressive, considering that everything in Vitality right now is surrounded around Saiwu. The best player right now, I'd say, together with Symbol in the world. Of course you do that, but Masuta, it's tough for him to perform under those circumstances.
Now, I do want to get onto that Zyru conversation, but before that, let's hear from the Vitality camp and see what they're thinking.
When we played Navi, we just won our map pick, to be honest. It was a pretty easy one for us. It was 16-8, I guess. Then the second map went also well. We were like 14-9 lead or something like that, and we managed to to lose that one, and the last one was terrible from us. It should have been a win for us, but they managed to play well at the end and come back. But yeah, I think we had it in our hands.
Together team kills. ZywOo getting pressured. Only a one. And ZywOo is not faltering. Simple going to start plugging in the numbers. ZywOo trying to land a shot, and instead he's going to kill everyone else. And Simple as well. ZywOo stellar round.
That game against Ernst was a convincing one because it was a 2-0 with a 16-6 and 16-9 game. So I think that was one of the best game we played with this lineup. We played better than Ernst on this one, and yeah, we were just a better team on that day.
Ooh, Apex. That's shut down, but Masuta will come in with quite the response. He's picked up 3 in this pistol round so far, and now just Alu left. Masuta gonna prove to be the pistol.
When we played against NiP, I was pretty sure that it would have been a tough game for them because they had like I think a week of preparation with Ampus, so it's not really easy for them to play. So for us, that was also a convincing game. I guess that was a good 2-0 for us.
This is very doable. Shot though with a nice tap, and he might just getting the kills, but no time to get the defuse. A great round from Shock.
It's been a while since we play against Heroic. They've been adding new players lately, so they are like more confidence, mainly with Undone as a coach. So yeah, we're just gonna prepare like the other teams. We're just gonna play our game, just gonna try to check a few things against them, and I guess everything will go well if we play good Counter-Strike. I saw their last games and they're playing pretty well, so it's gonna be a tough one for sure, but it's always a good one, so I hope for good Counter-Strike.
I'm getting real bored of these players and teams say, we're just going to play our game. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So I'm going to come back to this ZywOo topic of conversation, guys, because ZywOo, right, they built a lot around him, but he is having some performances where he's not living up to that star name. He's not giving us the full potential of him. And yeah, they have to make him comfortable, but it seems like he has too many mentality issues at the moment that they don't seem to be able to fix all the time.
Okay, I'm gonna take a different route here. I think that ZywOo right now is suffering from what I call the simple syndrome, which is basically we expect so much of him, and rightfully so. You know, he was the best player in the world last year, so as a result, we are only happy if he gets 35 kills per map. He's absolutely destroying everyone, and I include myself in the pack. I do the same thing. Yesterday I tweeted, or the other day I tweeted like, yeah, ZywOo plus 38, and I didn't even realize. Like I didn't even realize he was carrying everyone. So I don't know where reality is. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Yes, he isn't as delivering as he was in 2019, sorry, but maybe we're just asking a little too much. I'm not sure. It's a question. It's up in the air.
Also important to note that he's getting back, right? Because he was underperforming a little bit for quite some time here in 2020, but he's getting back. He's getting better and better. I think you can see the way he plays the game as well. If you put your statistics to an eye test, sort of, right? You see ZywOo, as you said, Maniac. You didn't even notice that he was putting up that performance. Sometimes you just gotta exclude the stats, look at the player, and look at the confidence he's bringing on the server. I feel right now that ZywOo is getting back to that level where he's getting more confident, taking a lot of duels, and constantly being that annoying player to be up against. So ZywOo, yes, maybe underperforming a little bit. I think Maniac is spot on when he's saying that we have high expectations. That being said, though, he's getting back to the ZywOo from 2019, and at that point, everyone has to watch out.
Certainly they do, because he's a scary man to deal with. But what's also scary is where this veto might go, especially if Vitality do want to try and go into that Dust 2. But we know, right, you mentioned it, Maniac, that maybe a ban straight coming in there for Heroic on it.
There could be a Dust 2 ban. Actually, that was my question. So Heroic decided to ban Overpass, which left Dust 2 open, picked by Vitality. We might talk about whether it's a good choice or not. Heroic going to Mirage, that is typically a punish. Mirage is not a map that we appreciate as in the French scene. But Vertigo, for Vitality, that is a very good last map. This third map decider, what I've seen from Vitality is very strong, but Heroic, they probably have it ready as well.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that Dust 2 pick, right? You look at the recent results from Vitality. They're losing to Dignitas. They're losing to the Portuguese team Saw. They're playing a draw against Ernst in the Blast Premier Spring Tournament. So it's not like Dust 2 right now is like a strong map for Vitality. Maybe they're getting better at it. Maybe they have an idea of how to approach the map against Heroic. But if that is the best pick you can come up with against Heroic, you're not really in that good of a position. That being said, though, as Maniac is pointing out here, having Vertigo as the third and deciding map, that's probably the best Vitality map as of right now. So you must be feeling comfortable that if you can get to a third map, you're still the favorites to win.
Yeah, they really could be. Go on, man.
If I could just say, I just want to have Jacob's input on that. I thought if you were Vitality, why would you not pick Vertigo and maybe have Inferno being a third map? So you could have actually vetoed Dust 2 as a second wave, get away from that map that's been a little bit scary for you lately, and you'll have the perfect map pool. So right now, they made their choice. Time will tell if they were correct, but I think this Dust 2 pick might be a risk.
If I had to guess, I'd say it's Apex, right? Apex being the in-game leader. I think being an in-game leader on a map like Dust 2, you can give yourself a lot of freedom. Apex is a guy that likes to be in charge of leading the pack, sort of. He likes on the T side to be the first guy out middle trying to create the space. So if you're an in-game leader and you're feeling comfortable in your own abilities, maybe leaning towards a map like Dust 2 is better than a map like Inferno or Vertigo, where you're a little bit more locked down. That being said, though, I 100% agree with you. Like Vertigo, it should have been the pick.
Well, let's see how it's going to play out on our first map of Mirage. It's time for us to send it to a break, but when you guys come back, you'll have Scrawny and Launders taking you through all the action. It's Mirage, and it's Heroic taking on Vitality. It's Mirage, it's Heroic's pick, and I've got these beautiful gentlemen next to me. It's Scrawny and Launders back in business, and lads, we're just on like a 4-week holiday of just constant us three, Counter-Strike, amazing action. Feeling pretty good.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I love calling it a holiday because that's what it does feel like. You know, wake up every day, cast Counter-Strike, all these different matchups, and now a new challenge for Vitality. You know, last week you saw them playing versus some kind of stronger competition overall, but they play against Heroic now. But Heroic, they were on like a 9-map win streak until they faced Complexity. So their confidence is probably pretty high.
Yeah, rightly so. But when you're going up against the likes of Vitality, they can quickly destroy your confidence in this one. Now, the analysts and I were discussing the Dust 2 pick again coming out from Vitality. You guys saw it with me at Blast. It was something they decided to opt away from smartly, and now they've gone straight back to it. Am I losing my mind, or is it them?
Yeah, I think Maniac was right about the veto. It's a very weird veto. Yeah. Connor, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Dust 2 was going to be as far away from Vitality as possible. But James, I think we're all going a little mad, and honestly, I kind of like it, right? At least we know we've got headshots in store.
Oh yes, that's the benefit of this, right? We've got plenty of Counter-Strike action. Doesn't matter if we're online, doesn't matter where we are, and that is kind of why we're waiting at the moment, because we're waiting for the players to be ready, because they don't know where they are. They're trying to find that server. They're trying to put in the correct numbers to get themselves into it. But from what we've seen on this online Counter-Strike, I discussed this with Pimp and Maniac. I'm not giving this excuse anymore that it's online Counter-Strike, we can't perform. I'm just not sold on it. It's like, you've had time now. You've had to play online when you practice and stuff before. Yes, the LAN event's not there. Yes, the atmosphere isn't there. But now you got to perform. You've had the time. It's like, I was fine for the first couple of weeks, but I don't want to hear this no more.
Yeah, it's a tired storyline. And like, if you heard what Forrest said, I think it was the most important point. It was like, in some ways you could say, since people are the most comfortable after some time getting used to it, this is where the highest level of CS should come out from everybody involved. And, you know, if you truly are better, then it's going to involve more than just the pressure around playing on a LAN match. If you're like the better team, you should be able to be more consistent. And we haven't seen any consistency among all the best teams.
And it's a real big problem for them. Now, this Heroic lineup, right? We talk loads about Vitality, but Heroic, for me, is on a rise. They've now got a new coach in Hunden. Could this be the one that you would say is maybe the difference maker in helping them elevate themselves up to the top spots? Because we know what he can do as an in-game leader. Now he doesn't have to worry about fragging.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about fragging. And also on top of that, remember that, again, in this online realm of CS, your coach can be your in-game leader. You probably don't want him to do it full time, right? But it's definitely nice to have that voice in your head. I think it definitely helps somebody like Cadian, who we expect to perform in terms of fragging and individual play. You know, he's not one of those players who can afford to be bogged down by the entirety of the leadership. So I think Hunden's inclusion on this is awesome. I mean, we know what Hunden's done with so many other projects. We saw that departure from Mad Lions, their loss, and Heroic's gain.
Well, guys, I want to... Yeah. Sorry, London. I'll let you continue on the conversation. We actually have some time, so you crack on, mate. You keep saying what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say Hunden's, you know, he's like the ocean of like the Ocean of Europe, or Ocean is the NA Hunden, whatever you want to call it. But basically, every single player that has come up in the region, and for him, it's in Denmark, has kind of had a time with Hunden, right? Like even Clave has credited him for a lot of their work. He's going to be, I feel like, could be one of the most valuable coaches, outside of like Zonic in the future, especially after he gets used to that role. And there's a lot to find out about how good he can be. But also this roster change with Nico. Nico has been having a very, very good performances recently. Kind of one of the best pickups in recent memories. Obviously, always living in the shadow of the other Nico, by choosing that name. But Banks, you know that problem, okay? You've got to go up against another Banks, but you guys, you're the original Banks.
Yeah,
literally your last name. Nico also, he's had that name forever. Doesn't want to live that down, but that's always gonna be something that comes after him. However, he's been really good. He's looking like the real Nico.
At least the real Banks is a good person inside, right? I think that's the main thing we should look at here in comparison to the other guy.
You own any gambling sites?
No, funny enough, I don't, right? Because I'm not trying to scam kids, but
Nice.
What we should move on to, though, is look at the Twitch chat results, because those guys have been voting. I'm going to get your thoughts, because we didn't do predictions on the desk, so we got time to roll with this. And, oh, wow. Okay. It's a bit more than I expected, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's a lot, but at the same time, okay, let's look at all the heroic matches. Their wins. They have not lost in all these matches. Windstrike, Noravind, Hard Legion, Spirit, Smash, Ambush, Habu, Hard Legion again, and then Forz. And then they lost to Complexity, which was like the first team that's finally good enough. So they had a really good streak versus all their tier 2 friends, so they'd probably play against a lot. But as soon as they touch anyone near the tier 1, like Complexity upper echelon, they lose. So that's not so great when you think about Vitality, how much better they are.
I would say as well with that, right? When you're looking at that whole situation, it's like maybe you get too used to playing that level, and then you come up against some heavy hitters, and you're like, whoa, okay, this has changed massively.
Yeah,
I can see that. I mean, you look at the results from the Home Sweet Home Cup, the 5th one. Well, they completely smashed it. They didn't even, they dropped one map across like 5 games by the looks of it, and those are BO3 series. And then they go to the second Home Sweet Home Cup, and as Mohan just mentioned, the results there as well. Until Complexity they faced up against, it was once more just success and nothing but success. So that definitely helps them. I think it bodes well. I think that as much as we want to praise Nico and his recent return to form, it's like we also have another young star in the making here with Tessas, kind of snatched up from Copenhagen Flames and brought into Heroic. Again, now underneath the kind of wing of Cadian and Hunden. I think that's to me the most exciting thing about this roster with Hunden and Cadian working together. I think that, again, it allows for them to take on more responsibility and kind of create a better environment for more players who need shaping, right? If you have just Cadian, how is he going to shape and mold and include 2 or 3 newer players who need that kind of guidance? Whereas if you have him and Hunden, suddenly you seem to have that ability. I can only imagine what Hunden's day-to-day must be like, because we know he's one of those players who, while he was playing, was definitely putting in the hours to improve, right? He knew his individual stats were questionable. He knew that he struggled in terms of fragging, but he definitely didn't just stop practicing because of that, right? He probably put in more DM than a lot of others. And now he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. This guy can wake up, he can enjoy his coffee, sit back, watch some VODs, try to smooth out the errors that are going to be happening on this new project of his. But I mean, his entire daily routine, even though it is still consumed by Counter-Strike, just the way he likes it's got to be a little bit less pressure. And when somebody has less pressure on them, they really have more time to kind of, focus their attention onto, other aspects of the game. And I'm really excited for this, dude. I really hope Heroic just come into the playoffs of DreamHack and then make that run. You want to talk about all the results in their other online games? Cool. But none of those mattered as much as DreamHack Masters. This is their chance today. Vitality are not perfect.
Yeah, this is the big leagues, right? And I guess in Vitality, although it's scary to go up against them, like you just mentioned there, Connor, this is a Vitality that sometimes we see completely drop off a cliff, and then other times we see hit all the shots and dominate some of the best players and best teams in the world. And I'm going to go, because we didn't do predictions, right? So I'm going to go through some just thoughts of you guys on how this went, because I'm still behind Vitality on this, but my one condition is that they actually win Dust 2, because I can't see them winning Mirage unless it's just one crazy individual performance from Zywoo backed up by Masuta.
Yeah, I agree. I think the chance for a 2-0 is better for Heroic just because the first 2 maps. Third map, I think, is a high chance of a 2-1 for Vitality. And then you got to give it to Vitality in general just because they're going to be slightly favored on no matter what map they play, just because of their stature as a team. So I think there's more ways to win for Vitality, that's for sure. But if Heroic, they could win 2-0 just because the veto was kind of a loss, I think, for Vitality.
And I wonder why you would come back to Dust 2 when they literally said just at the previous event at Blast, it's like, oh, it was the problem. And then it's like, we wake up and we go, no, we've solved it in 24 hours. I don't think that's possible.
It's another case of people talking out of both sides of their mouth, you know, I think. And it's like, yeah, there's just no way around it. You look at these Dust 2 results, and like when you analyze Dust 2 and what it has to bring, it really just, there's not so much there under the surface. It's a very simple map. Now, the only shining light for Vitality is that because the open aim map, they got a lot of good aimers. Zywoo's form has bounced back like crazy in just the last week. So this year, it took a steep drop, but like in the last week, it's literally just gotten more. It's just raised more and more to the point that he's almost at his 2019 form again.
And that's a scary Zywoo to deal with indeed. But this Mirage, right, you'd expect them to be very good at it, but it's time for us to get into the game. So I'm going to leave you guys.
Nice.
Bank stop talk, let the pros do their job. It's time for you guys to cover this game. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, James. We will see you in a bit, you know. Just me and you now, Mo. We're one step closer. Mirage up first. I think that's at the end of the day, I side with you here in terms of like the predictions, right? There's more win conditions for Vitality. I think Vitality are single-handedly just like the better team. However, Vitality have also been playing again online versus what I would say is like, you know, just a BO3 yesterday versus NIP. NIP have been one of the teams that look the best in this new online realm. So for them to have handled that one, I think that maybe the reason we fall back into Dust 2 is because Vitality, whether they're correct in assuming so or not, just think to themselves that Heroic are not the same caliber of opponent that they have already been beating. So they revert back into that comfort of the Dust 2 pick. It's a dangerous game. I think that it could come back to bite them, but you know, let's reassess that situation once we're through the first map, because there's a world where this one's never even close. Vitality 2-0.
Agree. Yeah, we're gonna have to find out basically on this first map how much preparation has gone into this. And I think for Heroic, so the pluses for them obviously is they probably have had more time to prepare Vitality, watching them play recently versus good teams on some of these maps, and that's great. On the downside, they probably haven't had as good practice enough. Like they haven't had the best Spartan partners to come up against to lead them into a victory here versus Vitality, who are a step probably above. But yeah, Vitality could underestimate them, and then maybe we get that spicy 2-0. I really don't think it's going to be 2-0 in favor of Heroic, but you know, at least for the underdogs, all of their recent matches would tell you that like maybe they're looking forward to this. Maybe they're feeling good.
Yeah, I think practice just in general is probably going to be difficult for a lot of these teams. You know, the very top echelon of Counter-Strike is very preoccupied with the back-to-back events we've gotten running through this month. And I think for that reason, you know, if you're Vitality, you definitely don't want to practice versus the Heroic. And over the past week and a half, who would be the teams available for practice versus the likes of Heroic? I do think that kind of limits them in terms of the quality of practice. But practice, scrims, strats, form, all of these things, let's throw it out the window, all right? Let's throw it out the palace, and let's let these teams talk for themselves. Folks, without any further hesitation, I bring you back into the Counter-Strike action. We've all been waiting for it. You better buckle in. It's Heroic to the T side, Vitality on the defense. We've got that smoke and flash here for Cadian as the T's prime themselves for what looks like the B split.
Yeah, you'd think. Now, we have, based on where the utility stands, we've got Cadian who could potentially use it. A lot will be known by where this smoke lands, of course. And it could be front connector, but he's also walking underpass. So this is potential to make it look like a fake and then split towards B. And it seems like, yeah, the catwalk has started to ensue. Cadian, eyes face towards connector, shocks. Oh, he's going to try to respond.
Oh my God, that's a dangerous game playing with his nade, but it does fantastic damage. The P250 tap from Borup. Gonna get shut down by Apex here. He has to reload, and he's in a bit of a pickle. 4 health left over, but here he comes. Zywoo on the flank. Oh, immediate tap into down. He's able to pressure Tessus off of the plant. That puts him into the crosshair of RPK. Now Nico back from behind the vent, only good for 1. So it's Cadian's flank that comes in a bit late in the hindsight, and well, he peeks right into those last 2 players. So Team Vitality gonna pick up that pistol. Nice flank by Zywoo, stopping it all.
Yeah, Big flank was everything. How fast it came through, especially after how slow the walkthrough in apartments was, and because Cadian was an underpass, that's one of the fastest rotations to try to flank. So I don't even know how he got there so quickly, I'll be honest, but that's pretty much the most important kill, because even the bomb plant going down for Cat, that was denied. And now Heroic are going to set up, it looks like, into Palace with a similar presence in underpass, but it's a big distraction, and they'll try to score a bomb plant, but they've got to get through Apex first. Sorry, not Apex, Masuda.
Yeah, here he is. Gets one, gets two. Nico blows through. ZywOo, oh, he wants to stop that bomb. Pretty damn close, but he's not going to get it. ZywOo panicking a bit, and I don't blame him. He peeks into a couple T's. Defuse easy, Vitality 2-0.
Yeah, nice. The bomb plant's pretty nice for having only had Glocks. And so they'll take that all day. Lots of money here for Heroic to try to buy and get this map started off quickly. And I don't know what the strategy is going to be, but it is Mirage, very friendly to defaults. And more B plays these days, I think we're seeing from a lot of teams. So I wonder if that's going to be part of the game plan for Heroic as well. It looks like this time around, it's a bit of mid-control. And a first layer A fake, actually. A couple smokes come out very quickly, and it's actually to distract from mid so they can go up Cat.
Yeah, and it worked fantastically. Apex, he falls off of the position, but with ZywOo being so deep in Palace, now they're going to start scrambling back. Can the B players do anything to stop this? Well, RPK, he ends up being empty-handed, and Tessez right through the smoke. Look at this
Game
fake
over.
call. Awesome little pump fake there to the A site. Hook, line, and sinker. Heroic. Take the third.
Love that, because obviously you get B site. It's just so unfriendly to try to retake without a big flank. And the irony of ZywOo getting that kill in Palace means that, first of all, you get the 5v4, but the irony is, of course, that it almost makes it harder to win the round, because you're so confident now that it is that A play after seeing those two smokes come over into the A site. Now, Nico, he serves as a player to help sell that fake, but he wants to get to the end of halls to try to catch someone running out of connector or through jungle, because he has those long sight lines from the Palace into the corner of the A site. But he doesn't even need to get there at that point. He almost serves his purpose by dying in some strange fashion. And Heroic come out of this only losing one player. Vitality lost two, but yeah, that's a nice way to make an easy round possible. You know, make it one player in B and just try to trade that guy out. So nobody wants to have to retake the B site.
It's not a bad situation. You know, you throw some smokes over, you just sacrifice Nico, you throw him in the volcano, and Heroic get on the board early. So I think you're absolutely right in saying that kill inside of Palace just like cements the misinformation that was the A hit. But this default, well, it's going to feature two players in middle, one through the underpass, one top box. That's Cadian chilling. No op on him, or anybody for Heroic in that matter. It is Shox and ZywOo, though, double wielding the big green gun. One of which is posted in the apartment. Dangerous position for Shox. He's going to miss his shot. ZywOo off of the catwalk now has to pick up that slack. Flashes go back, and RPK is the only defender to find a frag here on B. Down, he's trying to find the angle through the edge of the smoke, and he does so. This takes us to the 2 versus 2, and he flashes his way out. They do not have the bomb, but they're also still able to come in from different directions. There's more than enough time.
The bomb it could be a damning gift, but because we've got the Cat presence, some good HP, they're not in a terrible spot. However, these 2 incendiaries will pose a huge problem if this does come down to a B plant.
Don't forget for a moment, we've already had Stown with 3 kills in this round, and he's gonna have to ace if he wants it. Already finding himself on 44. Whoa. Apex throws him to the floor. A headshot through the wall to get Vitality back in control. That's their third, as Heroic trail by 2.
I personally, you know, I love how much B leaning is going on here from the T side. I think it's wise, and they had a situation where the 2 CTs were a bit clustered in the inside of Get Right, and that could have cost them the round. But you know, they do their job in both getting the counter nades down and opening up with a kill to inhibit any progress through the halls. You need someone to get out as soon as possible, and That's an interesting duel that gets taken. You know, Nico's peeking off of the flash that he hears. Masuda hard commits to it. Doesn't spot a target before. And Nico will look for some more damage. Apex is also hurt.
Shox with the op. Dropped the shot last round. This time he's going to be on the MP9, so definitely a change in the hardware, but not a change in the position. Still going to play that close proximity on the smoke. I wonder if somebody flashes him. He doesn't have any teammates here. Oh my God, there's three of them staring at him. Like, Shox just walks into the slaughterhouse on his own accord.
I don't know.
Yeah, weird one.
Yeah, it's a weird one because I feel like for all the information the CTs had, Shox should have been way more concerned about the thought that they could be going B. Of course, if there's only one person there, an MP9 duel would be okay, but no early rotates again. We've seen basically 4 rounds where Heroic have decided to go B, and so I want to blame communication, but I wonder why Shox wasn't more concerned just based on what he's seen from previous rounds about the thought that they could go B. Yeah, another save here for Vitality. It's really funny to me that Heroic have only won 2 rounds so far. Their game plan has looked quite clean. Pretty clean.
Ooh, one more added. Down goes RPK. Nico bites off a bit more than he can chew. So 2 move through. Vitality still maintaining that lead by a 1-round margin, but this is quite the back and forth affair we're having on Mirage.
Yeah, it seems like a battle of strategy versus talent at the moment. You know, I'd say the strategies and executions look very, very nice from Heroic so far, but Vitality, you know, because they're cut above in terms of talent, they're making this as hard as possible to win, even with a great game plan.
Lots of smokes early, full commitment off of this. I'm liking the pace from Heroic. Masuda, oh my, poor guy, through the smoke, the wall, and the eyes. Shox flash past the CT spawn, looks away before he finishes off Borup. Now the T's are going to get aggressive off of their own utility, and the trade frags work out great. ZywOo, 1 versus 4. I think you hit it on the head. This is strategy versus talent, and a very quick strat coming out of Heroic here in the 6th round. They just go straight in on A, right out the gate, and it looks fantastic. Even as ZywOo tries to exit towards apartments, there's a chance Nico finds him and takes that op away.
Yeah, it's not an empty contact play as well. All the proper nades come out to help them with that execute. It just moves along smoothly, quickly and smoothly. And obviously, you know, an entry like that will help out quite a lot. Spam down through triple, easy CT control, and as long as they're keeping the CTs alone when they're trying to reclaim this information by getting kills quickly, they'll be happy to go 1 for 1. So now Vitality are on the save because they have no choice. They don't have the op on that round from that last round, and they have no money with just no people with just an extra little bit of money to try to invest. So it'll be an early crush here from the CTs towards Connector and Cat. And the T's, they want something with this. They want to try to fight here. But so far, if the T's don't move, I'd say they're definitely they're favored to come out looking solid on this round.
My eyes are also drawn to Stown because he's sitting in that apartment, and there's just one player who can afford to look back at apps for the CTs, especially with the pressure from the utility. We see ZywOo have to give up his position. Catwalk now compromised. Bomb's going to try to move forward. Tesses, he sticks around just to give somebody the Juan, and then follows up with a headshot versus Masuda. His teammates are calling, come plant, damn it. And he's like, yo, there's frags, man. What you trying to make me do? He gets the 3-piece here in the anti-eco and the bomb plant in the end. Cadian's op finding 1, his first of the map.
You know, one thing I really love about the way that Heroic are playing is that they're using their connector smoke for everything. So it's hard from a conditioning perspective to tell if Heroic want to go A or B because they're using this exact same smoke to help them cross Cat as they are to help them get onto the A site. Now, of course, the only exception is when they do full A smokes and do just the right side smokes. But at that point, there's no way to read in the rotation. You just react right away, knowing it's going to be an A play. Here, Heroic, they spread it again, a little bit more of a lean towards B apps, and I say that just because they haven't pushed underpass, and it looks like they'll be rewarded with a push.
RPK, instead of Shox on the forefront, he's going to get himself a kill. He knows that somebody else is back there because of the teammates flash, but it is immediately pulled back into control here from Heroic. Nico and Cadian, simultaneous kills on both sides of the map. Shox, I think he's going to be here all game.
Probably. He's probably terrified to move based on what he's seen. He's seen some shit, honestly, sitting in here in the B apartments in these last few rounds. So yeah, you might be right. And even though he's pushed up, it's still kind of limited information until he looks all the way down. 2 CTs on A is not a bad situation for Vitality, but we've seen how crazy these A takes can get, how clean and fast they can go.
That's a jungle and
they didn't smoke out ZywOo.
Yeah, that could be a problem. Oh, he unscopes and still he gets back in control of the situation. Now that throws the bomb down onto the site. There is 30 seconds for them to fight. And ZywOo, he flashes up and over. That's going to enable Apex to come through the smoke. And with him and ZywOo, they lock this down. Just ZywOo things. 3-piece off the op. Apex getting the 1 as he serves distraction in the middle of it all. But that's a round and a half for Vitality.
Yeah, they kind of made this as easy as possible for ZywOo to shine. You know, he does his job by standing there, but what do we get? Like a 0.2 second after image flash on CT spawn. That's not going to scare him away. And of course, even if he was blind for longer, he could have pushed back and still peeked. So a bit of a misread on where he could be playing, I guess. Now, because of the amount of smokes they had, they were a bit limited. So they took a gamble. But yeah, not a scary round for ZywOo at all. Now another push into B-Apps, the exact same setup. Wonder if they'll try to flash through again. Looks like yes.
Oh, and RPK just eats it. He still regains vision. Shox now. He's able to trade. Last time there was a bit of disjointedness in the spacing. Shox though, he tries to go one better, and it's the numbers game. We saw it trade back and forth. But then he peeks into the 2 Ts that were sat back waiting. And it's Heroic back in with a man advantage. Now, they're still using some utility at the B site, and that is Stown the bomb carrier. So he is now in a weird position because Masuda has decided to go to the top of middle. So while Heroic move over to the Palace and could definitely take this A site, it's all about how do they extract this bomb. And if Masuda clears it...
Yeah, so he's going to try to clear B-App so Shox can rotate out, I think. But he seems very confident that they're here. Yeah, he'll start to move in. So this is going to allow Shox to move around. Or sorry, not Shox, ZywOo to go back to A. But this is kind of interesting because the nades that are coming out. Whoa, and the flank being watched.
Oh, Stown, he's going to catch him just as he moved back. Now, obviously, the open route all the way through underpass. And this is the worst case scenario for Vitality. Nico, he just barrel stuffs ZywOo on the murder hole. And that all hinged on Masuda's ability to either drop that bomb or go unchecked as he snuck up behind Heroic.
Now this is the point of the round where things get hairy for Vitality. Shox, he once again decides to take a fight. This time, I mean, he knew someone was flashed. So he knew there was at least one more person there after the 2 people came through and decided to risk it in the 3v3 to try to gain another man advantage. You know, put it all on the table. Hey, we got some more Elliott facts. Fun fact, time for revenge. The first time Cadian played a game against Vitality, he knifed ZywOo. Wow, that's cool. That's like a cool like college ball story. You know, my first football game, I scored a touchdown. That's kind of what that is.
The first time I met you, we went to a Montreal Canadiens game and sat in the Bell booth and had drinks with Kenny S. And you got recognized by the security guard as we went through the metal detectors.
All French people know me, Connor. All French.
I thought I was. It felt like I was hanging out with a legend.
The French, they know each other.
Yeah, we recognize our own. I think it's something to do with the egos. I don't know.
I think you just admitted that I'm French, so just want to put that out there.
Well, listen, it's the first day of Masters playoffs. I don't want to break you down just yet. You want to talk about being broken down? Look at this from Vitality, man. There is nothing. Not a single dollar has been spent. It is vanilla pistols.
Yeah, true. I'm bittersweet about the way that Heroic are flashing through that B-App smoke. It seems like that second time around they had a better chance of it, but...
Whoa! They spam him right down. Now, that's obviously the boost. 2 kills with the wall bang from Tessa's. Tessa's racking up the stats of the anti-ecos. I like it. This is Heroic leading by 2, 6-4.
Yeah, a high percentage of Tessa's kills are eco frags. Like to point it out, despite how good he looks on these eco rounds, there are a lot of eco kills here.
He looks a bit like Darth Mike.
I can see that. More hair.
You see that? Yeah, more hair nowadays. Yeah. All right. Sorry, I distracted you. Please.
No, that's fine. I just think the risks run on both sides seem a bit kind of crazy. I like Heroic's game plan overall, but the risk of them pushing through B-apps like they have been has been interesting. And wow. Meet your maker, Shocks. That's an insane shot from Nico.
And ZywOo, he hits that leg shot. I mean, Cadian, get out of here. Sit down. Tessa is able to trade that one on the jungle. Apex is going to come in with an additional kill, so still these T's have to be cautious, but with Bomb back on spawn, they don't really have to do too much. Tessa's not anti-eco this time. 3-piece for him. He is 14-5, and he is just racking up the stats.
It's only been one situation where ZywOo has had to have an easy time getting kills, and all these other. I mean, of course, you want to see ZywOo kind of thrown into the gladiator pit because it's crazy to watch what he can get out of a round like that. But most of the time, I feel like Heroic are doing a good job making it hard as hell for him to get kills, and that goes for everybody else as well. I think they're doing a good job. Their game plan has been making it difficult for these CTs to find good unfair openings for the CT side. Looks like back to A though. 3 towards B on Vitality. However, it is a pistol round once again. A frictionless entrance into this half after losing the pistol.
Definitely looking like a merited map pick. I'll give them that much. Heroic looking a class above Vitality at the moment. Gonna go ahead and commit to the A site. They don't see anybody stacked up on it. There is 4 CTs and they all get mowed down. Nico finding the 2, down 1. There's the repeat, and hey, they're actually still standing. Standing and fighting, apparently. ZywOo, you're not allowed to win this, man. I'm not gonna lie. You can try, but this is just no. Oh my god, look at this. Look at this angle. ZywOo.
How do you even track ahead through that?
How does ZywOo do half the things he does?
That's a fair point. That's a very fair counterpoint. Well, I mean, you'd expect after having to play with USPs for half the game, you'd get a little bit better at them. So they're all, making it a bit harder on these eco rounds. But yeah, Heroic, they've earned so many out of Vitality that has just resulted in such a staunch lead. And 8-4, they've got a competent half to look back on already. We're into round 13, and Vitality, what'll they try? They're giving a lot of love here to this B-apps and not allowing Heroic to get comfortable in this spot, maybe because they don't want to deal with the executes. Shocks in this passive angle. See if this works out a bit better.
Yeah, we've kind of seen him bullied inside of the apartments. He's generally taking a closer position than this, but there we have it. Shuts down Borup with relative ease. T's throw out some utilities, and they wait. There is no massive commitment off at the back of this. We see that CT Molotov burning. Shoxy's gonna try and throw down more utility. Cadian having a rough time getting these nades out the damn windows. Frickin' physics.
Yeah, angles and physics. B-apps is a bit awkward. Could probably use some reworking, honestly. Some of the nades you have to learn to line up to throw in smokes in a B and flashes through the window are very janky. Conversation for a different day, I guess. Heroic, they go back towards A. Shocks is low, but not in a bad position whatsoever, holding down B again. I think this is more what Vitality want. Opening kill, pushing back into the more of a stacked site.
Ooh, hitting him with the flashbang as well, so it should be a warning sign for Heroic. They know what you are up to, but Cadian, nice entry, and he takes down a big scalp in ZywOo. Masuda, just gets barrel stuff. Down, he's looked great on these entries, and Nico, he's gonna give cover from the top of Palace. A flawless entry, and the retake even preemptive, trying to shut down that bomb plant potentially, but Shocks 1 versus 4. He is already so tagged up from his first engagement. He's going to hear the footsteps inside of jungle, so he knows somebody's cutting him off. It's about hitting the shot. He just takes the chance and jumps by. That is ballsy from Shoxy. Posts back up to make sure nobody can hunt him down from the flank, but a very successful 9th round for Heroic. Could that have gone any better.
No, I mean, amazing entry from Cadian, of course, to take out Zywoo, who was so useful to be in CT spawn when they came out last time. And it's a 4v5 win for Heroic. You know, clearing out Sandwich, perfect. Some teams will go through the A hit, not clear out Sandwich in a spot like that. So good awareness here, but look at this, just beautiful. I mean, the timing on the flash with the peak and the perfect angle clear, everything works out very well there for Cadian. Good teamwork all around. That's kind of more of a tactic as opposed to a strategy, right? They're just combining that one flash with that one peak.
Yes.
Yeah, and just a very regular A take otherwise.
Also, a little final cherry on top of that round. I want to sing Nico's praise. That is not the first time we have seen him ensure that no CT can survive. Think about it. His flanks over towards the B apartments to find the players trying to save guns. He's done it 2 or 3 times now. You know, he stuffed out Zywoo in underpass. This time he gets through B apps as Shox is already watching it, thinking he'd found the timing. So you like a player who wastes 0 time to ensure that they have nothing, because all of a sudden, you know, this MP9 we see on Shox doesn't look like much, but what if Zywoo had an op with this? You know, it can very well be the difference maker, especially for a team like Vitality, where they have that clear-cut level above and beyond type all-star in Zywoo. Zywoo wins rounds, we know it, but Zywoo wins less rounds when you make sure he never has guns.
The man's been an unbelievable amount of pistoling rounds here for Vitality, that's for sure. Ooh, he really wants to shoot. He really wants to fire that deagle. Give him a reason.
Ooh, Zywoo will.
Jesus.
See? Even with a Deeg, you've got your hands full with Zywoo. There's a lot of action going on here in mid. CTs have actually done a really good job of kind of surprising the offense. They dropped Nico and Tessus. Apex, he's back inside of the underpass. And he could cut off the bomb. Oh, he just missed it. They're going to walk right into RPK, the AK that had been picked up from Palace thanks to the one Deeg from Zywoo. It now hits the dirt, so they lost the MP9, but they don't have time. 6 seconds. They need to clear connector so the bomb can go down, but he doesn't, and Zywoo decides to fight. He could have tried to hide, but it all comes down to the wire. What a chaotic round in the end.
Was the bomb front connector? It wasn't even the guy on site?
No.
Holy smokes, he didn't know, yeah. How would you not expect? I thought for sure the guy who's on site. Oh, no. Yeah, he was on site. Okay. I was like, why didn't Cadian plant him? He really risked it to try to chase down that kill. So I think Zywoo was just trying to read into it like, okay, well, if he fights me, they could lose the round. If Cadian dies, they lose.
Yeah.
They can't get that bomb back.
I thought
Yeah,
you meant
it looked
dealing
like
with the
it.
player in connector.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Optical
Poor
illusion.
Cadian. He's just, you know, he tries his first bomb plant while a CT is staring at him. Just fingers crossed your teammate gives cover. And sure enough, he did. So it worked. Yeah. That's double digits for Heroic on the T side of their map choice. This game started off with Vitality, and it has been anything but ever since.
5v4 doesn't even seem to matter that much for Vitality right now because Heroic and the 4v5s are making super smart decisions. Like, again, they keep it just as clean. They play like they have 5 players alive, which is what you love to see. But let's see if Heroic or Vitality can finally press this advantage to a round win. They've got some map control. They've got all the decent spots to watch onto things. Shox in a very strong position. Huge sight lines down here to the top of mid. However, players crossing underneath him makes things a little bit more complicated. Tessus? Oh my god. Yeah, oh wow. If he went any farther than that, he could have died. But that's enough info for Zywoo.
Zywoo beckons them towards this A site. Try us. There's 3 of them, all dogpiled, but yeah, murder hole. This is a big moment for Stown. He's trying to drop utility here. Oh my god, Zywoo doesn't shoot. Stown's just trying to bait out the shot. It took everything to get him to pull the trigger. Zywoo with ice in his veins. Apex tries to catch the man on Cat, can't do so. And as that player locks down the flank, you see the bomb sprinting through the apartments. Tessus moving in quickly to plant. We've had a lot of rounds that boil down to the last 4 seconds. Tessus, he's gonna have to stick this inside the molly. He dies after the plant, you'd think. 1 HP as Stown cuts back Apex, and Masuda's got to go 1v2, but damn it, Stown locks it down. That is Heroic 11-4.
before lonely. Now I'm worth fighting for. Echoes bounce between your walls. I see when your curtains fall. My pride, bitch, but you know I caught your bluff. Now you are the victim's love. I had enough. Cruising on the joyride, ride hard, I feel free. You're out of the picture. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Boy, c'est la vie. Down, c'est la vie. Boy, c'est la vie. Down, boy. Now you see me when you can steal my shine. Feel me when I'm not yours this time. Let go. I'm not the one to blame. I see that you are still the same. My pride, bitch, but you know I caught your bluff. Now you are the victim's love. I had enough. Cruising on the joyride, ride hard, I feel free. You're out of the picture. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Boy, c'est la vie. Down, c'est la vie. Boy, c'est la vie. Down, you're such a sad face. Why such a sad face? Why such a sad face? Why such a sad face? Now you cry like a bitch, but you know I caught your bluff. Now you are the victim's
Welcome back. Look at this. We've got Stown just jumping around, having a hell of a
Dude.
time. And I think that's just a good analogy for Heroic, Mohan. They're running around having fun.
Hey man, their game plan looks sick, and they had a sick game plan. And at first, it was like Vitality. They won the pistol round. They have 4 rounds, so yeah, that doesn't speak for itself. I mean, we know like after that, the talent looks great enough for Heroic overall. They had a nice, clean game plan, got away with so many rounds. A couple of small hiccups in the starts, but they even won such a high percentage of 4v5 rounds that you got to be scared as hell if you're Vitality now. Scared
Agreed.
as hell.
I mean, I don't want to talk too big picture, but they should be scared as hell on Dust 2 as well, because it's not just the game plan from Heroic. The individual levels are looking sharp, and that's
I love when it.
You love what?
I love when teams lose Dust 2.
Yeah.
I wish both teams in every match could lose Dust 2.
lose on Dust 2 as often as possible, so that maybe we can get away from it. But listen, you talked about reworking the B apartments. Mirage, due for a redo. Any day now, Valve. Let's go. Bring
Sure,
cash back. Get rid of this thing.
The last map that hasn't been remade. I mean, it was initially remade for CSGO with Mirage CE, but yeah, it's been a long time we played on this map. That's for sure. Okay, B seems like it's getting all the love today from both sides.
Yeah, completely clear for the taking. Shox and Zywoo gonna pick up some frags. Here's Masuda in the market. 2 headshots. Pip pop. And Cadian, well, he has no teammates. He has 11 health. It's a lonely day for Cadian.
I like Masuda in the market. That sounds like a Vice kind of like travel cooking show or something. Like he visits marketplaces all over the world. French chef CS.
Welcome back to Masuda in the market. Today with a creme brulee and a baguette au fromage.
You ever want to be a chef? Because you do cook a lot, or like you make a lot of food for yourself. You do a lot of stuff, right?
I feel like I can talk about food. You know, like I could be I don't know about a chef, but I'd make a really good food review channel. You know, running on empties, food review.
Bruh. Yeah, that could be you.
One day.
That could still be you. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I'd subscribe. I'd ding the follow bell.
I appreciate it. Are you ready for another B hit? Because it looks like that's what Vitality want to do again. It
I am.
So
I like
well in the pistol. So damn well that they're just going to run into this one. Don't forget there are 2 scouts in play for the CT and the CZ that is now dropped. Utility as well. It's a difficult retake with utility on the B bomb side of Mirage. It's not like you have a nice open skybox from the marketplace.
Look how scared they are.
Yeah. I mean, why not, right? You know you're not buying back in the next round anyways. At this point, you've lost that first player. The bomb's down. Just go ahead and save. You've got 4 of the 5 players that you came into the round with. Get out of here, Tessas.
They're a bit crowded. They're a bit crowded.
They want it.
Oh, there's a boost in sight. Interesting.
Frag grenade's good.
Look how, see, they're crowded. They're going to take some AoE here.
If only Heroic had a slow.
Yeah, maybe a stun.
Shocks. Finding Borup. Tessus. Get X that.
No
scout
exiting.
shot. Yeah, he's been waiting. Yeah. Normally you got to think about getting in, but Tess says, another, and he almost got the collateral. He's doing tons of damage with this scout, and he gets to keep it. I suppose sticking around on the bomb site only cost them 1 of the additional pistols. So while I was calling for the early save, I will say that was way better. Heroic, nicely done.
They got to be pissed. That's a couple easy kills. At least the guns are recovered for Vitality, for Heroic, I should say. But yeah, these guns stay in the game. They had a couple of smokes from last round as well. Borup's got a Zeus. And it's, full on B stack. So maybe a good spot to eco here for Heroic. The cut noise at the same time. Very scary, very tense, very awkward. Oh, and the pre-scope.
Oh my god, this is 10 players. 10 players, and there's a Zeus out. I didn't hear it shoot, so I think it's still underneath the window, but Shoxy charges down the snipers. They had very little cover to work with. Sound with the P250 on site. That didn't go as well as it could have. You know, that was one of those scary situations where until it's over, you're not quite sure which way it's gonna go. But RPK, he gave good cover. Gets a couple kills, clears the board, and brings us right into the gun rounds. Heroic, they also lost the first few starting rounds on the first half, but then it was all theirs from then on out. Let's see if they shut this one down early.
What the hell happened to the Deagle? I was like, it was in such a good spot to catch the drop out a window. Okay, well, this is really good pressure. You don't want to be a triple in this situation. Oh my god, he's still lucky to live in CT spawn. This makes a big difference, yeah. This slows things down quite a lot.
Those flashes out from Cadian. He's going to be given a gap to work with. Oh, just barely misses that op shot. Masuda, he's going to tear down 2. Mac 10 making money. A flawless gun round coming out of Vitality, but that was dangerous. I mean, we saw Borup pressured so quickly off of the triple box. Masuda, so much cash. He gets the 4K in the first gun round, and the guy barely had a freaking gun.
It's not even an eco round, right? Like these, they just don't have head armor. Like everyone's just getting melted because their watermelon heads just explode to 1 bullet from these from this Mac 10. And we see teams that are buying Mac 10s on these full buy rounds constantly. Look how much money he's made and how much money he's saved by not having an AK. And now it's less liability because they lose 1 player. They can always upgrade to 4 AKs again by picking it up.
Yes, sir. But we get the CTs, you know, they want to fight a bit. They've been battered and bruised the last couple of rounds, so they take things into their own hands. Charge up into the palace, go 1 and done. Borup upgrading from MP9 to AK. And we did see Vitality actually move that bomb into the apartments, so it looks like the Frenchmen want to shift into B site. Zeus, not good for 100 damage. I'm telling you, it should be all or nothing.
It really should. It should, definitely. I mean, it couldn't ask for a better angle to hold, but...
Super winnable.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll turn it around. AK to save. Lots of damage dealt on this round, but yeah, Vitality come out with 3. Their economy actually looks super solid, man. This comeback was like non-existent. I mean, sorry, it doesn't feel like it's been a comeback at all. It's been such a quick route here to 9 rounds. Yeah, so and all you need is kind of that 1 rifle round to get to this point. So next round they'll try once again. It's scary that Vitality could come out with that full-on A take and win so easily, but last round they caught, I think, Borup off guard by him being at triple, which is again one of the scariest spots to be versus an A take when you don't have support. I think he was just trying to throw some grenades, but this time around he probably won't get caught, so we'll see how Heroic setup's gonna look. Yeah, I mean, to be fair to ZywOo, he's as far as possible away from the angle. Not that he knew there was a Zeus there, but he's maintaining a basic principle of the anti-eco, and that's to stay as far away from these worst guns as possible.
I'm just saying that based on where that Zeus shot landed, I'd be dead.
I'd be dead too. I would have died.
That should be 100. Get the op hammering off shots towards apps. Very narrow angle to work with, but Stown likes his chances. And already we're getting a somewhat slower round. Although, I mean, contrast like the straight up A hit from Vitality 2 rounds ago to last round where they did seem to posture until they lost a player. Like they played a fast tempo because Heroic went for a push. I'm not sure how many rounds Vitality naturally want to play really, really aggressive, but I think it does favor them. You know, that was the thing with the first half is that Heroic could slow things down on their executes. We had some really nice B to A rotates. You know, their defaults across the map would fall into 4-man hits. And Vitality had to try and get ahead of that. But when Vitality can just steamroll you with a moment's notice, that's a whole different game. They've gotten up the catwalk, and the CTs on B are trying to drop utility to hold them back. But ZywOo just goes charging right through it. Down, he's gonna miss his op shot. He's gonna be given a second chance, and he does kill ZywOo as, the no-scope connects. And NiKo gave him enough cover to cut down the numbers. It's a 4 versus 2, turned back somewhat. Shox, he's trying to box his way out from behind Van, but dunked on by Borup. Apex's flank coming in here, already called out. A headshot to finish. That's Heroic on 12, 3-round lead.
Borup's literally so fast, he headshotted him through the wall before he was done peeking. He hadn't even agreed to that fight yet. And Ston, I mean, little Cold Zera impression, really nicely done there on the RPK. And of course, yeah, everyone's just comes together. That's what the nature of a Behold has to be. It's chaotic fights. The split was on for Vitality. One more frag from Vitality, they're on for the whole round. That's how close it is once you cross that area. Get right and B apps. Fun fact, Nita Swede, Vitality have won their last 3 best of 3 series between these two. Heroic last won while Freiburg was still on the roster. Whoa, okay. Freiburg was the problem. Lol. Omega roll.
Heroic.
Floppy was the problem.
Double ops setup. 22 kills on Youngstown. You love to see it. I mean, it depends on who you cheer for, but I cheer for good Counter-Strike, and he's given us that. But a quick clash as Vitality, yet again, just charge up to the top of middle and find duels to be won.
You got to appreciate how much momentum they have. It felt like, you know, they must have been sapped of energy after that first half, but they're keeping the pace real high right now, and it's working. And Heroic, yeah, they've definitely been very scary on these holds. So they won the last round, but they're clearly not through the thick of it. RPK Masuda low, but they both got their kills. Well, ZywOo got his to save his teammate. And Borup's in quite a dangerous spot, actually. So he'll look to push up.
If he can cut off the Palace player and the mid-man doesn't come in too quick in Masuda, maybe they're able to just shut down A ramp, but it's going to take some awesome shots from Cadian. He starts it with the grenade. That was RPK, made low by that initial mid-peak. Cadian going to fumble the chance at dropping Apex out of Palace. Masuda, low HP, comes in with a great flank, but Borup, he's trying to stop them. He's the only CT in that entire hold to add frags to the board, barring that one grenade to kick it off from Cadian. So Vitality just chewing through him. Only trailing by 2 rounds at this point.
Yeah, pretty simple stuff. They get the 5v3. They get the opening gambit outside mid. They win both their duels. That's supposed to be round over, and of course it is once they get the appropriate trades. It was a nice try by Cadian. He got a little bit spooked by that op coming out of Palace, I think, and that made it hard for him. But one of those situations, again, where the pressure's so high, but if you win that one duel, things slow down quite a lot. Cadian now in the B halls as 4 Ts look to encroach, and he gets that opening.
Nicely done. He's gonna put out the Molotov towards Van. Cadian posting back up as Tesses working the SMG. Gets Masuda. Cadian, now he's starting to unravel this one. He wants them, and he's going to take them all. 3-piece for Cadian on the op. I love the fact that he posts up inside of the windows of apartments. It's just a really cheeky angle that both facilitates the element of surprise and the fallback. And once he falls back as fast as he can, he's able to repost for a second. Look at this. Boom. Never saw it.
So I think everyone wonders, why doesn't this opera get flashed? And it's because if you drop the flash, then you let people know you're there. So it's a gamble, because if there's no one at the end of halls watching it and you walk out, you can get so much closer to the execute and make it way harder to stop. But the read is proper from Heroic. Cadian puts himself in a good spot to open the round up. And it really shuts down so much of the momentum by getting the opening kill. Whoa, Borup. He saw death staring right at him. Oh, RPK is going to help trade. Seriously bad situation for Borup.
Oh, Nico, he's the one who saves him. RPK, you saw him very much giving chase to Borup, knowing he had a player in a compromised position. Apex comes out from Palace, and yeah, Team Vitality just flexing the aggression that they can afford because they knew that they had the defense in a scramble. But Nico, he has been the saving grace. He cuts off RPK as he gave chase, and then peeks into the site to stop it. Cadian, hot on their heels, denying Zywoo a chance at anything, and Shoxy may be on the longest flank possible, but he has gone unchecked here. He's gonna get a chance to drop the Opera in middle. Ooh, a missed shot doesn't help. Down, and a 1v2 ensues. He doubles back to the CT spawn, of which he could have initially pushed, and based on timing, they may not expect this. Watch the CT's perspectives. They were looking forward, but I think they heard him. Nico, he very quickly turned his attention.
Whoa.
Molotov.
Oh. I was expecting someone just to be sitting on the side of triple, I guess.
Seems like it.
Yeah, tried to make it a read, but it was Firebox that needed to be mollied. And they don't win. But so good cover so far. As you pointed out, Nico coming in huge again. And they're just not dropping it. Yeah, every single turn they're super sharp to recollect the entries, and things looked a bit scary when RPK got that first kill up the A-ramp, but they pulled it back. Birth of a God. It's Hundon's birthday today. He's 29 years old. Many happy returns. Happy birthday to Hundon.
Happy birthday.
Cheers, Hundon.
Woohoo. 29.
Yeah, I'm 30. I'm 30 in July. Holy crap, almost dead.
I'm 26 in exactly 2 weeks.
Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a lot of birthdays.
Life just flashing before our eyes. It was Som's birthday just yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Is he like 10 years old now?
11, I think.
11. Congratulations. Yeah. True prodigy.
Shame he couldn't win the game of Counter-Strike. Sucks being a loser on your birthday.
Yeah, do you know what that feels like, or?
Every single year. We're going to get the run boost at the top of mid. Vitality looking to crack back open the window. That one AK on Apex. Oh! Doesn't find anything. But the grenade's great from the defense. Look at Masuda, dropped a half. Oh, look at Masuda, dropped entirely. The second grenade comes flying through. You love to see it.
Oh, you absolutely do.
Nico off the jungle. Good for one, but RPK, he's gonna get his paws on an AK, and that's a little intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. It's him and Shox, both with Kalashnikovs in the 2 versus 4, and I love the patience. They welcome them in, but Stown gets the best of the angle. Yeah, he has been. I mean, we saw it in the jungle peak with the op last round. That little highlight that production got replayed for us.
You have to like pre-fire to win some of these duels. This is crazy. And
ooh, another.
Wow, man. And to quote Tuna, quote Big Tuna, Heroic looks sprightly to move into match point. Every single turn, they look super fresh. They've not been scared of the pace that Vitality have brought. And Vitality, they've done good so far in this half to win a couple of rounds. They did for sure. The trades look super solid on their half as well. But look how many kills, man, Heroic have. They got 20 on Nico, 25 on Ston. Tassis is like seriously nuts for only having 19. Borup as well is doing great on the A site for the most part. Boost
and
up
even
quick
Kate here, who has had has less kills. We've seen some big impactful holds on this B site in the
That
gun round
opening
of the
duel
second half.
versus Zywoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a round. That's a whole round in that one kill. So yeah, nobody's sleeping.
No, sir. They'll have 5 map points here, Vitality, before we inevitably shift over to Dust 2, where maybe Heroic sweep this series. Who could have expected that one? Not Twitch chat. I remember your 85% Vitality prediction. I'm not going to forget.
Yeah, 50%.
Mind you.
5 head. I mean, who knows? Things change so dramatically map to map, but
absolutely.
Yeah,
right.
at this point, it's definitely looking up. It's looking up for Heroic stock.
See if they can finish it in convincing fashion. Get a little bit of posturing going on towards connector here. Nico, the smoke's about to fade, and there will be 4 players on the other side of this one. He is with Tesses, and as they get smoked off, they decide to jump right through it. Apex Tech 9 good for just the first. Tesses, he's able to control these chaotic moments. One of the reasons I want to sing his praise. Trades back as Shocks takes down 3. He comes out of the palace, but he has no clue that Stound's coming in on the flank. He's gonna walk right into the headshot, and Heroic pick this up. 16-10 on Mirage, a convincing first map that'll bring us to Dust 2. Our Vitality dead in the water. Well, we're gonna find out soon enough. Please join us after the break as the analysts unpack this one.